Welcome everyone to Pine Grove News Live. It is exactly 6 p.m. on the East Coast. 6 p.m. Sun is shining. Great day today. Finally got a spring, as I've probably already told you this past week. Lessons to everyone. Yeah, I mean that. Hope everyone's doing okay. And I know some that aren't, and that's okay too. We all have trials to go through. We all need to be refined by the fire. Do we not? We do. Well, there's always a lot of news out there, but kind of hard to pick, between, I don't know, I guess it's the mood you got to be in and the importance, what people are really talking about. A lot to pick from. I've always wanted to just do news that is in prophecy. Problem is, I don't know all the prophecies. I'm not that well rehearsed in the Bible, so I'm learning just like everyone else along the way. But I'm watching. I'm keeping watch, just like y'all should. Keep looking up. Waiting for your redemption, because it's soon approaching, man. Just feels like it. And of course, it's very nice to have, a nice sunny day, except for the occasional chem spraying and lines in the sky, and, you know, try not to remember that they're poisoning us. Except for the blue skies and all that, it was a beautiful day. I didn't remember the news. It was not on my mind. Just enjoying God's creation. Beautiful thing. So, let's see. I'm just gonna look at my notes here. Few updates about the Notre Dame thing, and you probably should all already know this. That's the downside of doing the news every other day, is that you don't get to report it on the days, obviously, that you're not here. The 2 days out of the week, Tuesday and Thursday. And I'm always available. Well, usually available. Of course, summer's coming up, and I like to go ride on the motorcycle. Me and my wife, my son, and whoever else we can get to go, and just drive for a couple hours in the woods, up the mountains, along streams. Very beautiful scenery around here, even in Connecticut, being so small. Yeah, a couple other updates too with some other things. That gene CRISPR thing is in the news again. And you know what? I'll just mention this right now about this. It's in Stamford, Connecticut. This actually happened in Connecticut. Um, People, I'm worried about the generation below us. Not necessarily my son, but his sons. And not necessarily them, but the children of that age, which are now 15, 14, 12 years old. Apparently, some school, I guess it was a high school in Stamford, Connecticut, planned through social media a food fight. I mean, it seems, innocent enough, doesn't it? I remember having food fight. I didn't do it in high school. We did it in, lower grade before that, probably in sixth grade. Of course, we didn't plan it. It just happened. Mashed potato fight. Anyway, these children in the school staged this food fight. I mean, and the school found out through social media that they were going to have this food fight. The school took on extra security guards, and the principal also announced in the morning prior to the food fight, all the repercussions that were going to happen if they were to go through with this food fight. And one of them being that they would not have their proms or whatever dance or anything else that they have that juniors, seniors, whatever have towards the end of the year. But anyway, you figure that would all, stop them from going through with this, but it didn't. No, I didn't get the full story. I caught the ending of it, but it happened. It happened. I guess it got carried outside because I actually saw all these kids. It didn't really look like there was food flying around, but people were moving crazily around each other. And of course, the guards, the security guards that were ordered in there, I guess they were actually arresting some children, chasing them around. And I actually saw two police officers, or they had uniforms on, so I call them police officers, but security guards, whatever. Took one of these teens and really took him to the ground very forcibly, and there's no reason for that, but that's beside the case. So that's all I got at the moment. I'll have an update with that, but this shows you what I'm trying to get at this right now is the fact that we're in trouble. This generation coming up, not just that age, but the age below that is even worse. And I mean godless. I think that these teens, these 15 on down, to 12 years old, they don't know God either. I mean, I was a bad parent, but I am trying to, change that. Or at least let Jesus do the work and have him, change it for however he can do it, because I know I can't do it. And they're just, I don't know. I don't know. We're in big trouble. They just don't care about authority. I mean, we do read in the Bible that, children will be disrespectful to their parents. And we also hear in the Bible in Revelation, I think, maybe it's in Ezekiel, maybe it's in Daniel, it talks about, family members turning each other in for whatever reason, but turning them over. Now, I don't know if that's has anything to do with Christian persecution or just the utter lawlessness that these children are now coming up through, through the ranks, so to speak. This is what we have. And this is in Connecticut, and I'm pretty sure that we're not the only ones. Well, it's just crazy stuff, man. It's just crazy. They're just, if you don't have God, if you don't have someone that, or parents are not forceful enough, because we're all, I grew up on the tail end of the government trying to interfere into families, marriages, problems, Yeah, they wanted to control the children. So they started with us, when, and I've had a few rough times, okay? There was a few incidents in my early adult life when we were just getting started with these children. We didn't know how to raise them. We were too young ourselves, and things happened. And, they came out with this law that if, in any case, in Connecticut, that there is a family disturbance, or what do you call that? Family dispute, whatever. If the police are called to the premises, one person has to be arrested. At least one person has to be arrested. Of course, in this particular incident, I went voluntarily. Take me. Wasn't going to let anybody else be arrested. And so, anyways, youth, that's when they started. And now, you all know about Common Core and all that other stuff that's been, that these kids have been indoctrinated and brainwashed. From what I hear, that there's no American history. They teach you a lot about communism and socialism and, things that happened in World War II that were just things that were wrong. And their teach that vaccines are good. Excuse me. Yeah, that's what they're being taught. So we're going to have to pray because, the greatest generation is almost gone from us now. I mean, these people, you've seen them, Trump talking to them. They're in their, 80s to 90s. Actually, there was one guy was 104 or 105 years old that met with the president. There's not many of them left. I believe there was, anyways, somewhere in the Bible that talked about the great generation, and that he would return before all of that great generation passed. So that's got to be pretty close too. So a lot of things are just culminating into bigger birth pains and more frequent. Well, in any case, that's my soapbox for the night. Till we get to the end when we start talking about the new marijuana laws and Christians asking, is it okay to smoke marijuana? Yeah, think about that for a minute because we're going to ask that question later. So we'll start off with the weather like we normally do. Maybe I think I don't know. There is a volcano that went off again today, but isn't there always? So anyways, this one's from Strange Sounds. Hundreds rescued from flooding in Ras Al Khaimah. United Arab immigrants after record deluge. Police emergency services rescued hundreds of people during the storm 13th to the 14th of April 2019, which caused major flash flooding. The northernmost immigrant of the United Arab immigrants. So now they're getting their floods. So that was over the weekend. 20 families provided hotel accommodations. Rescued over the weekend's flooding to reach 702 that were rescued. Yeah, and flood damage. There's plenty of videos, like you haven't seen flooding before. Let's take a look at this one. It looks like in rush hour traffic. Sorry about that. Let me put this up there first. Okay, sorry, I keep forgetting to do that. And this is obviously Fair Use Act. There you go. So let's get back to this. It's only 23 seconds anyway, so let's go. Yeah, they're driving it. I mean, they can drive through it. Some of them are wheels are buried, but can't go too fast, obviously. So there you go. Living in the flood. Getting home, rush hour traffic. I've been through many microbursts of way home or to work. Nothing unusual. We have them. This is from the Watchers. Unseasonal rain, lightning claimed 4 lives in Nashik, Western India. So at least 4 people there have died in 2 separate incidents after being hit by a bolt of lightning. So the storm produced a severe, lightning that produced by a severe thunderstorm in the ancient holy city of Nashik, Maharashtra, Western India. I would really like to go visit the Middle East. I just have this fascination about Egypt. I do, about the pyramids and the writings and all that stuff. But I really would like to visit India with all their ancient buildings and whatnot. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Notre Dame, right? Or Notre Dame. How do they pronounce that? Is that what it's called? Notre Dame? I don't even know if I'm calling it by the right name. So there you go. Anyway, so let's move on. There's a little bit more weather. One of the strongest hailstorms on record hits Athens, Greece. There we go. There's a good picture. So this heavy rainfall and sudden intense hailstorm hit Greek capital Athens and its suburbs on the 15th, causing serious traffic disruption and power outages. It was described as one of the most intense hailstorms Athens have ever seen. Well, there you go. The hailstorm lasted less than 15 minutes, but huge amounts of ice it left caused serious traffic jams. Yeah, yeah. Um, I've seen sleet pile up, like that. I have never really seen, not yet, huge hailstorms like this that pile up. You Not that I want to see it, because they very obviously very dangerous. Yeah. Also from the watchers, widespread flooding hit Afghanistan again. At least 5 dead in this round and 17 missing. Yep. New wave affecting 16 of Afghan's 34 provinces since April 15th, causing widespread flooding, damage, and deaths. Show you a couple pictures. And I will always try to leave the link. Sometimes when I have, 4 stories from the same site, I will just leave you the one link. Which one that I thought might be, you might go to first. But you will find all those things, ones that, you see here, or the ones I call out, on the same page. Yeah, this was just funny. This is from WND, so I guess that was the weather. The right to print arms. Right, I said the right to print arms, to print it. Yeah, so John Stossel whacks gun control advocates and the childish media over new technology. Yeah, you can 3D print guns. Yeah, you can make them of plastic. They're hard to detect. Yep, I had some. Excuse me. I seen somewhere in a video, I guess. I don't know. I probably was even a commercial, but this somebody ordered or had a 3D gun, plastic gun built. Okay, and the package was dropped off to somebody on campus in a university somewhere via drone. Okay, and the guy's got a gun in his hand. So that's a reality. We got all kinds of drones. I'm sure that you've seen the commercials. It just the logistics and the I don't know insurance premiums for something like that makes it an unrealistic thing to do. Yeah, so virtually undetectable, according to CNN. This changes the safety of Americans forever. Or does it? I would say it does. So 6 years ago, a company called Defense Distributed posted blueprints for 3D printed guns on the web. The Obama State Department said that violated the Arms Control Act because allowing foreigners to see them is equivalent to exporting a missile launcher, and that's illegal. I don't see the comparison, but whatever. Defense Distributed withdrew the blueprints. Gun control advocates were relieved. We have enough guns in this country already, Massachusetts legislator David Linsky tells me in my new video about 3D printed guns. Joy, joy. Yeah, this is sad. This is from WND. And apparently, this teen, uh, some way or another, I'm not sure exactly how, what this involves, except that they're just saying that this teen was infatuated with the Columbine shooting. Um, Found dead. I believe I heard from Northern California that apparently she was in the woods with a gun or a rifle and was found dead. So this massive search for Sol Paris is over. She is dead from possible self-inflicted wounds, according to a law officer source at the command post in Clear Creek County. The FBI tweeted, "There is no longer a threat to the community," because she had threatened to shoot people again, like what happened at Columbine, the first time. So this 18-year-old female suspect was on the run after making threats that led to the closure of school for more than 500,000 students on Colorado's Front Range Wednesday. There you have it. Want to read more? We have the link. I don't know what this is. I don't remember downloading this. What the heck is this? What? I have no idea what this is, people. I don't remember ever being on this page. Yes, it was, I don't know. It's not a major alert, so don't worry about it. It's not a real one. President Trump just demanded QE4 and slashing interest rates. I don't know where that came from. I am looking for, and maybe that's what happened. They went to another. Let's reload it, see what happens. Yeah, that's what I thought this one was. Because I wanted to talk about this, ever so briefly, because he's claiming, or somebody's claiming, that Trump already slashed taxes, and I don't believe that that's true. Uh, every year, we have gotten back some type of refund. Okay, we pay thousands of dollars. We've paid over $7,000 in income taxes. Okay, for we don't make that much. Everyone thinks that we do, but we don't. We made probably, I think we made 52,000, or maybe it was 62,000 for the both of us. That's not much. I mean, it's more than what we normally have been making the past, times, because a lot of times I haven't been working because of my injuries. But believe me, we're living with this so-called 62,000, and that's before taxes. That's gross. We don't get all that. You take about another, 10, 15,000 off that, and you might start, start with that. So, anyways, most Americans say they have not experienced a tax cut under Trump. And somebody's claiming that there is tax cuts, and I don't believe that there is either. We even had to pay. I mean, we paid, we work in Massachusetts, so we have to pay both Connecticut income taxes and Massachusetts income taxes. Even though we don't work in Connecticut, we still have to pay taxes. So, what was it? We actually had to pay Massachusetts. What was it? $88. We never had to pay before. Never. We've always got back a couple $100 from Massachusetts. I'd say maybe a few. It's under $1,000, and whatever, and it varies. But pay them? Never had to pay them before. Let's see, in Connecticut, who we didn't work. Of course, we getting something back from them, but it's a lot smaller. I mean, I didn't even work in this freaking state, and they took out, at least $2,000 in taxes, at least that amount, and then they charged me on my income. I mean, give me a break. I've already paid for all kinds of other taxes here. You know, you pay property taxes, you pay for your car taxes. You know, I can go into the taxes and how much taxes we paid. You all know about it. It's just too much. It's getting to be too much. I mean, yes, we can pay our bills and we can buy food, but we can't do anything else. Not usually. Nope. Yeah, we might be able to go on vacation, and our vacation is, you know, renting a piece of land in the woods somewhere for, you know, 4 days to a week, and you know, bringing a couple coolers and a tent. That's it. That's our vacation. We can't afford to go to, you know, a Holiday Inn or something like that for 4 days somewhere. Nice. Yeah, but no, I haven't experienced. They've t- we get more money in our income. I haven't noticed it. It's the same amount of money. I've gotten a lot less back from income taxes from what they've already charged me. So they did change the tax laws, but not for the better. No, didn't change it for the better. So if he's going to come out and state that he cut taxes, he may have cut taxes for somebody, but for the most of us, no. He rearranged it and cut off some, you know how it works. Anyways, kind of made me a little upset about that because now I might even have to go through and file another, what do you call it? One of those forms to take out deductions. Anyways, let's move on. Assange, this is from Blacklisted News. Yes. Okay. Assange's judge a disgrace to the bench. Former UK ambassador says. So both Chelsea Manning and Julian Assange, how do you pronounce that? Assange, are now in jail. Both over offenses related to the publication of materials specifying U.S. war crimes in Afghanistan and Iraq, and both charged with nothing else at all. No matter what bull, whatever, political and MSM liars try to feed you, that is the simple truth. Manning and Assange are true heroes of our time and are suffering for it. Yeah, well, I kind of agree and don't agree. I mean, I don't like my government, you know, spying on us. And anyways, I'm just finding out. I'm just waking up to every bit of the lies and the propaganda, and you know that my country, these representatives, the elite who gain all this money and power, um, how much they try to deceive us. And, you know, some people, most people are deceived. They're living in their own little programmed life that the media, that the elite pay the media to tell you. And it's not reality. It's not. Boy, am I finding that out big time more now in almost everything. And you know what? We are just slave class, okay? And we are sheep heading for the slaughter. I don't know why. If they get rid of us, where are they going to make all their money? Or do they think that they made enough already? I mean, hell, let's watch out, people, okay? Watch out for the socialism that's trying to creep in. You know, Bernie Sanders, you know, he's part of the 1%. And he's calling for everyone to share the wealth. No, 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 no. Him and AOC and all those people are going to be on that, you know, tier where they will decide who's getting what. And they'll get most of it. I mean, anyways, if you listen to Florida Maquis, I mean, it's almost as if he's, you know, wishes that socialism were here. I mean, the way he talks about Maduro and the way Venezuela, you know, started out, and it's true. I mean, you follow the facts that this guy, this YouTuber put out there, that socialism, it was actually working. In the beginning, it was actually working. And until outside influence came in, and mentioned this before, about Venezuela and Maduro, he did not want to have anything to do with big oil. He wanted to give all his profits back to the people, and he did that for a while. And because he didn't want to follow big oil, and you've heard this before, they imposed sanctions on him or made it tougher for him to get certain, vendors into his stores to keep prices at a low rate for these people to buy. And so when he didn't play ball, they made it rough for him, and now they're accusing him, even though he's supposedly been elected 3 times. One time, 60% of a 3-person race. Our country is saying that he's not the legitimate president. How do they figure? I don't know why we need to get into Venezuela besides the oil. I mean, we are already exporting oil. I don't think we're doing too much of any exporting of anything else, but somebody please prove me wrong there. In any case, I mean, now they're talking about going after Russia and China, who are in Venezuela militarily somehow. The war machine is looking. I mean, that's why all these pieces have been moved. Everyone's on high alert, even though they're all in the same game. They all know about this. They all know about the world agenda. These demons and fallen angels who are the princes and powers that be, and other worldly beings. That's who they are. Fallen angels. I don't know what you call them. They are fallen angels. They were the watchers of old who came here to watch mankind and decided that they liked women better. Anyways, and the story goes on. Yeah, they weren't supposed to interact that way. They were supposed to watch. That's why they call them watchers. But they intervened and they caused all this problem. And the Lord has a plan, and it's in the Word. It's in the Bible. Read the Bible. You will understand the plan. You will realize what the plan is. And in the meantime, the devil, got thrown out of heaven. He's here with his demons, and they want to just kill you. They're here to kill, steal, and destroy, and they'll do it in any way they can. So there you have it. There's where we're updated, and he has a short time, and he knows it. So do we. We have a short time. I look forward to that day, even though, if there's time to save lost ones who do not have their eyes and ears open quite yet, who are still, with all these things that are going on, around the world, these catastrophes, people are going to be waking up. They're going to be in their broken state where most people need to be before Jesus comes and speaks to them. They're at that moment, I don't want to say vulnerable, but they're at a more alerted state somehow. So in the state of mind. And so they will, if there's, have anything in them that's good, they will ask about God. They will ask, why? Why these things? Why is it happening to me? Why now? I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do next. And then when, you hear about all these suicides and all these things that are happening, and this is a fallen state where people are at a lot these days because of the things that are going on. And, for that sake, for Jesus' sake and for their sake, we hope that we can reach some of these people. We hope that Jesus will let us, stand in the gap and help these people We can't do anything, but maybe Jesus will put them in front of us. Maybe there's something that we can do. And so for that reason only, I mean, who wouldn't want the whole world to be saved? Why do people want other people to die or get hurt? That's just of another mind, of another area in your head, another dimension. You're just out there. If you want to actually hurt other people, see other people get hurt, don't care about anybody. You're just you've been deceived. You've been deceived and believe the lies. And we'll still pray for you. Absolutely. And so now we got the first U.S. patents for patients. I'm sorry, this is from End Time Headlines. First U.S. patients, U.S. treated with CRISPR as human gene editing trials get underway. Do you know what that CRISPR is yet? Do you want to be reminded? Here's what the CRISPR is. CRISPR. Define CRISPR, okay? Definition of CRISPR. A person or thing that crisps, correlates, or curls. Oh, that's not. A compartment at the bottom of the refrigerator for storing fruit and vegetables. Yeah, well, that may be true, but that's not what we're talking about. CRISPR, a game-changing genetic engineering technique. Okay, yes, that's what it is. They edit your DNA, your genes. They decide whether, you can go pick out whether you want your child to be boy or girl, blue eyes or brown eyes, blonde hair, red hair. I thought that was in, the genes between the two parents that make up those, but obviously I'm not a scientist and I do not splice genes. So, but that's basically what that is. Okay, that's what's going on there. And I was trying to get together that Star Trek episode, but they won't let me do it unless I pay them. And I don't feel like giving them $3. I wanted to go pick out, that Star Trek episode, The Wrath of Khan. You know who Khan was in Star Trek Enterprise, that series? Him and, what was it, 200 or 300 of his, he calls brothers and sisters, were actually part of what was left of a genetic war that happened on Earth. Okay, we made superhumans. Okay, stronger, faster, better, maybe faster than a speeding bullet. I don't know. Able to jump whatever. Able to leap tall buildings. Yeah, I don't know. So they had a war, and then they what do you call it? Banished these people. They put them in cryogenic sleep and shot them out in space. So the Enterprise found them, a couple hundred years later, and woke them up, and that's the Wrath of Khan. That is what possibly could even happen. A lot of these Star Trek episodes, they didn't know it at the time. Obviously, we were just, I was just impressed with, science fiction. The technology they were using, the flip phones that they were using for communicators. You know what I mean? And the beaming technology, all that stuff. I mean, imagine, being, going down to the bus stop and this being beamed to France to go look at the Notre Dame church, or whatever you want to call it. I think they've said that they've done it before with other objects. But anyway, so those trials are getting underway. They talked about U.S., but Chinese scientists stunned the world last year when he announced he had used the CRISPR to create genetically modified babies. I remember there was ones in Mexico too. Scientists or whatever, doctors in Mexico, and it was kind of hard to believe because we getting all the the poor people from Mexico. I guess they're kicking them out. But anyway, they put together somebody's child from three different parents. So they were able to pick three different parents, not, mother and father, but whatever, three different parents, and they spliced together this baby. And I was in Mexico. And I don't know what the Chinese were doing, but I'm sure with no restrictions on them, or at least we say we hold restrictions against the U.S. from doing these things, but we know darn well that they're doing the very same thing, if not worse, than these other countries. Yeah, stories that I've been listening to lately, man, about how this country how this country has evolved and its people and the things that this country, its elite, it's power hungry and money. I don't know what you call it besides they're just corrupted. Money corrupts. Money is the root of all evil. I wouldn't say the money is the root of all evil. It's the people who, you know, how they use the money and what it does to them. So there you go, CRISPR. Last year, for the baby. But scientists have long hoped CRISPR, a technology that allows scientists to make very precise modifications to the DNA, could eventually help cure many diseases. Well, you should all know that how I feel about that. I think they already know the cure to these diseases and the things, the petri dish, Africa, they already know about those diseases and the new strains of Ebola and other things that are coming out of Africa. They already have the cures for them for just in case they happen to get infected. I believe that there were some South Africans that were held up at the border just recently. Now, I haven't seen the article myself, but I'm told from World Watchman from Northern California a couple days ago that had occurred, that they had stopped two or however many people from South Africa who had were suspected to have this like Ebola, and I'm still waiting. I'm definitely waiting for any kind of answer to that or updates for that. That's huge because there's other things that's going on in this country right now too. Yeah, like this one. Dozens infected with hepatitis A outbreak in northeast Alabama. We heard, of course, we know about the measles that's going on as well. There are other things too. So, according to News Channel 9, ABC, the Alabama Department of Public Health says there is currently a hepatitis A outbreak in several northeast Alabama counties. It says since September 1st of last year, there have been 26 confirmed cases of hepatitis A in Jackson County and 19 confirmed cases in DeKalb County. There have been a total of 51 cases throughout the United States in that same time frame as of April 16th. There are 22 active cases in Jackson County, 12 cases in DeKalb County. Unlike some recent cases in Tennessee and Georgia, the ADPH has not pinpointed the exact location, such as a restaurant or the source of an outbreak. And you remember but the E. coli outbreak. I still have no updates of where, because they're saying they don't know where that came from either. Definitely lying. Somebody's lying. Somebody's always lying. You don't believe how much we've been trained to lie. You've been watching TV since it came out, and I know you have. I have too. That predictive programming will teach you how to lie. To teach you that, getting mad is okay. Yeah, so I brought this out here. I don't know if I want to talk about this yet. It's fallen away. More and more Christians are asking if smoking weed is a sin. And I will quickly say, if I can, drinking, there's nothing wrong with drinking as long as you don't drink to the point where it changes your mind, where it influences your decision making, and stuff like that. And same goes for smoking pot. I mean, it obviously was put on this earth for something. We made the alcohol, of course, but in any case, uh, I don't see anything wrong with it, especially if it's for medical reasons. I don't see. I don't know. I don't know. There are a lot of good reasons for it, and there are bad reasons for it. Just like with everything, people abuse things. People just abuse things, right? Yeah. So Christians, doesn't matter if you're Christian, or not. That has nothing to do with it. Anyways, that's the only opinion I'm going to give on that. Make up your own mind why you're doing it. You only answer. You don't answer to me. You don't answer to anybody else except God. You will have to answer to God in the long run, whether you believe it or not. We all will be before the judgment throne, before the throne in judgment. You will take account of everything you've ever done and said. That's why That's why there's some things that I do, trying to make up for all the bad things that I've done. Hopefully, I can come out even somehow. That's not. I'm not. It's not like I'm doing that on purpose to come out there, but you know, Jesus just changed my life and my direction. So, and He can do that for anybody else if you let Him. And I'm just, He forgives you anyway. I mean, that's what He came here for. He forgives you for your past sins, the ones you're going to commit, 5 minutes from now or tomorrow, futures, presents. That's what He came here to do, to forgive you of those sins, to wash them clean, as long as you're repentant. And I'm not saying, I don't want to get into that. We'll talk about that another time too. Some people say, well, God knows my heart, so He knows that I'm having a hard time, with drinking, and I'm trying to cut back, and then they just go out and do it over and over and over again, and they're not really repentant. You'll know in your heart, if you're repentant enough. You will. You don't make up excuses to be repentant or to do the things you do. You just will try not to do them, and you will feel sorry when you do. Believe me, you will. So let's get to this Notre Dame thing. Okay, Cathedral in Paris. Now, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because to me, there was brought up today a new storyline, I guess, to it. First of all, listen to this 1 minute 57 seconds, and remember, this is from CNN, so take it for what it's worth. But the only reason I'm adding this is because I have one or two other things that I want to show you as well.
The reports and the one especially before yours, I mean, see, the officials are saying that some of the major relics were saved from the fire, including the crown of thorns and the tunic of St. Louis. What can you tell us?
Okay, did you hear that? The crown of thorns and the tunic of St. Louis. Now, I didn't hear about the tunic of St. Louis until I read this this article was spoken to me. I was reminded of the crown of thorns. Now we'll go on and we'll talk about the crown of thorns in a second.
It's about these items.
Oh, these are priceless items. So I'm doing my PhD on St. Louis, so I know a lot about his lifetime and how big those relics are. The crown of thorns was actually bought by St. Louis in the 1230s. It was bought by him from the emperor in Constantinople, who's modern-day Istanbul in Turkey. And basically the emperor just needed cash, so he sold one of his most precious treasures to the French king, who bought it and had it brought back to France in triumph. It was the relic was paraded through France for weeks and weeks on end, and all the contemporary historians and chroniclers mentioned.
So this was paraded through France for weeks and weeks on end. Why is nobody? I have never heard that Notre Dame held this crown of thorns. I never knew that this crown of thorns survived. I mean, first of all, people, let me just say this one thing about this, okay? The Old Testament is things of the past. The New Testament, where we are things of the present and future. It's a new covenant that Jesus came and made with us, okay? God made a new covenant with us. And that covenant is based on what? It's based on faith. It's based on our belief, our faith, our hope in things to come, our faith in what Jesus did for us, is coming to do for us. It is a faith-based religion, if you want to call it a religion. We do not need, though a lot of people will say, yeah, I do. And a lot of times I said, I do too. I wanted to see material things like the Shroud of Turin, okay? Or now that I know that the Crown of Thorns is actually exists, yeah, that I need too to build my faith. It's a physical thing that I can actually see. No, 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 no. You know what that becomes? It becomes an idol. And it's not from Jesus. It's not. That's my opinion. Yes, it's my opinion. I mean, it's a very strong opinion. Come on, you got to, what do you think? What we have with Jesus and the Holy Spirit and God Himself, God Almighty, is faith. Faith in Him. Faith in you know about faith. Faith in where we're going, faith in what will be. If you put a crown of thorns or the shroud of Turin and put it on display somewhere, it now becomes an idol. That is only from the devil. You must see that. I hope you see that. Okay, so in any case, why was this? I have never heard about this crown of thorns until this fire. I'd never heard it was paraded around for weeks in France. Of course, I don't believe that I was doing the news. I don't know when it was. What did they say? The 1230s. I was. What do they call it? It wasn't in the Dark Ages. I mean, the Shroud of Turin. I mean, I even know some people who actually believe that it's actually the Shroud of Turin. That it was actually the cloth that covered Jesus. He would not leave that behind. No, he wouldn't leave that behind for you to use as an idol. No, he wouldn't. It was the first time I heard about the Shroud of Turin. It was tested and found to have pigments of paint from what was it, the 1500s or yeah, the 1500s. And then they tested it again, and then they changed their mind. Whatever, but I know people who hold on to that, and that's their faith. That's an idol. Hope you can see the difference. Faith is not. Faith. Well, let's just go. Let's just go look it up. All right, Ephesians 6. Let's go find out what faith is. No, Ephesians 6 is the whole armor of God. Guess I gotta go find out. Let's see. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah, sorry for this. Really, I can't. Ephesians 6. Yeah, Ephesians 6 and 10, and that starts the whole armor of God thing. But I thought it was also, what is the faith? The faith chapter. Oh man, is it still in Ephesians? Let's see. Blessings in Christ. By grace through faith. When times pass. I don't know. I can't find it though. This, how inadequate I am at the Bible so far. I apologize for that, people, but yeah. So faith is the things hoped for, things that we can't see, something like that. I mean, it's not things that we can see; it's things that we can't see. It's the hope in that we cannot see. That's the faith. I hope you understand. I hope I haven't, because I will be punished for that severely, and I wouldn't blame the Lord for doing that. If I messed that up, we need to be slow to speak. I try. But in any case, yeah. What else was in here about this? I wanted to say something about it. On the Thorns. Well, no, this is just something else right here. I gotta put this in pause. I don't know why I keep starting every time I push it back. Yeah, so somebody's got this video out there. Hold on, as soon as I get it back, I will show you. I guess I won't. I'll have to YouTube to find out who's it's from. But anyway, they got this video out there, Notre Dame file, person moving down below to the right in a building, and apparently you see a flash coming from them. And I don't know what that is. Is it marking a target? You know how military does that. They bring people in beforehand to paint targets, with lasers and stuff like that. So whatever air power that comes in has a target to fire something. Somebody had mentioned something also about some beam of light. And I think this whole thing, some people are saying that the whole reason why it happened is because they knew the crown of thorns was in there and they wanted to destroy it. The elite wanted to destroy it. So this thing is still going, like everything else. These conspiracies are going to come out, and let's just not get too wrapped up into them. But you will see in this 40-second film, and the arrow points right to where the person is, and then you'll see a flash right here. Okay, there's a person moving. Then you'll see a flash come from there. See that? And apparently that was a painting of a target. So they're going to play it slower and zoomed in. So there is the person moving, and you'll see a flash. You see that? And they move. They go back into the building. So that was very interesting. I'm going to keep that one, put it in a file. We'll title that Amsterdam. Anyways, so here is the Shroud of Turin. Okay, I'm sorry, the Crown of Thorns. And after looking at these pictures, the only thing that I can say is that I read how they made the Crown of Thorns in the Bible, and it sounded like these pictures look like they put an awful lot of time and purpose into making this crown. The Bible, it sounds like it was kind of made in haste, from this thorn tree or whatever, and maybe wound together a couple of times. But this, I don't know what this is. Is this encased and protected somehow? And you see some thorns here, but it looks like somebody did a lot of work to it. I don't know. So it's just more nonsense, in my opinion. So there you go. There's the Crown of Thorns. And why didn't they tell us that they've, had it there? I don't know. Yeah, and so that's it. I mean, I have this last video clip here, 43 seconds. These are the children that are coming up. Okay, these are the people. Well, they were actually at some. What was it? It was at a race, I guess. Yeah, Speedway gas station, Akron, Ohio. Okay, and I don't know what started it, but you'll see a few seconds here of this brawl in a gas station. And it's basically 4 or 5 women against one guy. And I don't know what the guy did, but he was attacked by these women. So here you go.
She's throwing shit. Oh! God damn.
He got these 5 or 6 women, I guess.
She got the whole ass gas thing. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, so that's what our youth are up to. And yes, we didn't go out in packs. Okay, no, I can't say that because I was actually part of a 42 people that stood out on the storefront and drank beer. Yeah, we didn't want to cause anybody trouble, and we kept to ourselves. I mean, the only time we got into trouble when the neighbors didn't like the beer bottles in their yard, and they called the police. That was the. So I'm trying now that I remember that. This is not too bad. But when you start seeing this in a lot of this age, forward a couple of years, backward a couple of years, if it gets to be an epidemic like this, and look at all the mobs, these mobs that get together on social media, go and rob a store, take all the stuff. I mean, that's been going on. We never heard anything of that. This knockout game. I mean, none of that happened even in my time. Yeah, we did some stupid stuff like throw snowballs at the cop cars, and that was it. And only one person got caught out of the 42, and that was, some girl. Couldn't run fast enough, I guess. But anyway, that was just, kids who, can be wild, at that time, at that age. In any case, man, know where your kids are, know where your children are, know what they're doing, have the phone call. If they're not answering, make sure you know where they are. Got to keep track of them. Yeah, they're not going to like it, okay? But they might be able to live through it, so they can talk about it later when they're older and calm down. Yeah, how your mother or father or friend came and, was concerned enough about me to keep an eye on me. If it wasn't for that, I might have been lost. You know what I'm saying? And learn to forgive them. People learn to forgive each other. And hopefully we'll be on our way. We'll be going home soon. God bless you all, and peace out, everyone.